Welcome to the Powering You Entrepreneurship 101. This is week 1, day 1. This is your practical entrepreneurship course. This is Bill Lewis. I'm a mentor, entrepreneur, writer, sailor, adventurer, speaker, and I'm your partner on your new journey. It's my privilege and it's my pleasure to welcome you today on the start of your new life. We're going to have a great and successful time together. This week we will share lots of new tools and techniques and knowledge to support you on your way to becoming a successful entrepreneur. It's day 1 and welcome to the second instructional video in this week's series of 8 sessions in 7 days. In today's lesson, I'm going to introduce the concept of the power of why. The video and the exercises that you will complete will take you around 40 to 50 minutes. You may complete this exercise alone, or you may complete it with your spouse or partner, particularly if both of you are going to embark on the entrepreneur journey together. You will need your journal, and I recommend that you keep it to hand to make notes as we go forward. We're going to start your journey with an understanding of the power of why. You must have a big enough why to get you out of bed, a big enough why to sustain you through the tough times, and a big enough why to motivate you and create and build momentum. And today, we're going to discover that why, your personal why, that is going to sustain you in the months and years ahead. Every day, for 24 hours or 1,440 minutes, we are in the process of doing things, and our body and our mind are active, sometimes consciously and oftentimes subconsciously, without any thought on our part. Our body functions minute after minute, hour after hour. But these activities are always driven by a purpose, a why, and that why is sometimes taken for granted. We breathe to put oxygen into our bloodstream to nourish our bodies. We eat food to sustain life. We drink water to keep ourselves hydrated. We sleep a requisite number of hours to get rest. But if we were to ask ourselves why we breathe, why do we eat, why do we drink, or why do we sleep, we might think, well, the answer is obvious. The why is programmed into our mind, into our body to sustain life itself. It is part of our genes, it's part of our life design. Other things we do are also programmed, but they're not programmed by our inherited genes and our life force. There are always reasons and there's always a why which determines the way we react, the way we feel anger, the way we feel love, the way we perceive and question things or not, the way we approach a problem or the way we approach an opportunity, and the way we behave, the way we judge something, and the way we judge ourselves. There is a why about how do we see ourselves in relation to others. Are we small and helpless? Are we powerful and strong? The way we give ourselves permission to succeed or to win is driven by a power of why. The way we see ourselves in society, in relation to other people, is still subject to that same force. All of these actions or reactions are the result of how we were brought up, how we were educated, how we were influenced by authority figures, adults, teachers, and the media. But we seldom stop and ask ourselves, why do I react this way? Why am I thinking this way? And we continue to be programmed until we become aware of our thoughts, aware of our behaviors and our feelings and actions, and take personal responsibility for them. In the book that you will download at the end of the week, 25 kick-ass, life-changing lessons for budding entrepreneurs, We talk about the why we are who we are, and we will examine this phenomena in more detail. The content of this little book comes from another book which I wrote last year called Midas and 1000 Cows. It's a journey, crazy journey of an entrepreneur making millions. And Midas has a mentor called Nestor. And Nestor describes and explains how we behave and why we do things, what the power of why is for us. And I've summarized Nestor's lessons in this little book called 25 Kick-Ass Life-Changing Lessons for Budding Entrepreneurs just like yourself. I'm sure that when you get it at the end of the week, you're going to thoroughly enjoy it. As an entrepreneur, and as you start to grow as an individual through this tremendous and wonderful period of change that you are embarking on, I challenge you to ask yourself why. Question your assumptions. Question the way you do things. There is a better way. Growing is the result of asking questions. And one of the greatest questions is, why? You remember when little children are growing up, they constantly ask why. They're challenging, they're learning. And it's regrettable that we stop to ask this question. And I'm inviting you to go back and bring this question into your repertoire, into the way you think and ask and behave. As you go forward, ask, why do I think this way? Why do I react this way? Why do I believe what I believe? Why do I feel that they are more deserving? Sometimes we kind of sabotage our success because we look at other people and we think, well, they're more deserving than us, and maybe I won't do that. Sometimes we think we're not worthy of success. So we must ask, why do I feel as though I'm not worthy of success? Where did that come from? And why do I feel afraid of success? If we start to ask these questions, then we start to get insight into ourselves, which is absolutely essential as an entrepreneur. And as you ask the question, you might find that you react the way you do because that's how your parents taught you to react, or the peer group you hang around with expect you to behave like that. And the more you travel on the journey, discovering the power in you, the more you will find that there are many reasons for believing things around you. And you often find that the perception of how things are and what you should believe is obsolete. And it's been imposed on you during your formative years. For many of you, I can guarantee, and it was for me, it is time to build a new belief system. The sooner we stop believing we're on this earth to satisfy how others believe we should behave, and that's a vicious and insidious power of why, the sooner we can get on with our lives and be successful entrepreneurs. One of the greatest and most powerful steps that you can take as you release the power in you is to increase your level of awareness regarding how you think, how you respond, and how you behave. Changing many of these paradigms will take effort and some work. And as we go forward and work together, I will introduce to you tools and techniques and ideas that will allow you to examine and, if necessary, remove some of the inhibiting beliefs that you're carrying with you. I do know that for us to grow and to be successful as an entrepreneur, we have to cast away that blanket of conformity that we have been wearing and increase our self-awareness, because self-awareness leads to action. Action leads to success that leads to life-changing behavior and a future of joy, of fulfillment, of wealth and happiness. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you do, is driven by a power of why. If you think about the gymnast who is going to the practice mat at 5 o'clock in the morning, or the swimmer who is entering the pool at 4 a.m., or the athlete who is pounding the running track hour after hour after hour, each one of these people has their own power of why. The why may be the feeling of accomplishment, of status and acknowledgement that comes from a place on the Olympic team. It may be a gold medal in an athletic event, or it may be the ability to run a record-breaking marathon, or maybe the ability to scale Everest, whatever your Everest may be. For those people who are on the road to achievement, the why is the reason, the motivation to get out of bed, the reason that your vision will be achieved, the reason that what I like to call your big, hairy goal will be achieved. Goals, massive, serious, but interim goals, are but the stepping stones to answering and delivering and maintaining your why and achieving your ultimate goal, be it your dream life or an Olympic gold medal. Without a strong enough why, goals are meaningless. As you can see, having a big enough why is vitally important if you're going to achieve the big hairy goal that brings you big changes in your life. You will remember the story that I told you in the first video, the video that brought you onto this course. I talked about the time when I was almost bankrupt. I'd lost everything, and I was down as low as I could possibly be. And I was living in a small converted storeroom. At that time, I looked at my life and I decided that I really had to change. The exercise that I completed on the table in that small room is the exercise that I'm inviting you to do right now. Let me explain. I wrote down on one piece of paper what the outcome would be if I did not take any action. I described my life as it would be in 1 year, 2 years, and 5 years' time and beyond if I took no action. I had no money. I was not able to enjoy my family. I was not even able to travel to see my family. I was not able to have a meaningful social life. I was experiencing poverty in both an emotional and a financial sense. The fact that I took pen to paper and wrote down very clearly where I was and where I would be brought a visible and tangible image in front of me of a life that frankly held no attraction. If what I saw in front of me was going to be my reality, I might as well have been dead. I have a copy of that paper on which I sketched my life as it was and as it would likely be if I did not take action. And I have this to remind me where I was and where I've come from. It's on the video now, and I hope that you will not mind me sharing it with you. As an entrepreneur, you're going to embark on a new journey, releasing the power in you and creating a wonderful lifestyle. But the journey is going to be tough and it's going to be hard. And there are times when you will feel like quitting. And there's times when you will feel incredibly frustrated. There are times when you're going to feel that you don't know enough, or you do not know which way to turn or which direction to take. And by the way, in these situations, we will work together to help you find a resolution. But before you reach those challenges, you have to start. And you have to have a powerful and unassailable reason for doing what you're going to do. And that is your power of why. And we're going to find that why, that massive why, which allows you to change your life. And I can tell you, finding that massive why is not difficult. The massive why will be the fuel that sustains the momentum of your journey when times are tough and when times are difficult. The why will provide the reason that you do not deviate from your chosen path and the road that you've decided to take as an entrepreneur. The exercise that I would like you to do now is very simple, but it's going to be profound, and it's going to be a fundamental building block in your journey as an entrepreneur. In our orientation session, I suggested that you always have a notebook or a journal by your side. And today we're going to make the very first entry in that journal. It will be the most important entry that you will ever make and you will come back to remind yourself why you are doing what you're doing. It's an entry that you will read and possibly edit and comment on as you go forward, time after time after time, because it is so profound. In a moment, I want you to pause this video. I want you to find a quiet place where you can work undisturbed for 20 minutes or so. You might like to put on a headset and some soft music, cut out any extraneous sound so that you can concentrate. It's vitally important that you give this exercise your 100% concentration in a sustained way until you complete it. I want you to take 2 pages, and on the first page, I want you to write the heading, Today and Next Years. No action. On this page, you're going to write, if I do nothing to change, this will be my life in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and beyond. And I want you to clearly describe where you are now and how your life will be if you take no action. Be honest, be brutal, write reality. Will you be fulfilled? Will you feel like you've contributed something? Will you be financially secure? Taking each part of your life, your relationships, your family, your health, your financial situation, and your job and your work, and your prospects. Look at it as you go forward. Do things get any better, or do they get worse? Are you living from paycheck to paycheck? Do you see just a marginal change, or do you see things plummeting downwards? When you have completed that page, and it may take you around 20 minutes, stop and put it to one side. Take a 5-minute break. And there's no right or wrong way to complete this part of the exercise. You can write or draw pictures or attach a scan of your bank statement if you feel it's important. Then on the second page, I want you to write the heading, the life I will have. No, write the life I have. This is your dream life, expressed as it is today. And on this page, I want you to write the design of your new life. We're going to do some more work on this when we come to the session on a vision board. But right now, I want to invite you to put down as much detail of your future life as you can. Where will you live? What will your house be like? Who is your partner? What is your family? What do you have in the bank? How is your health? What is your sport and your fitness regime? Where did you go on holiday this summer? And where will you go for your winter holiday? What kind of car do you drive? And what kind of car does your partner drive? If you have children, where are they at school? And what do you do with your leisure time? Describe a life full of joy and happiness and security, and write it in the present tense. It is important that you engage your emotions and your mind in the ownership of this future life. And one technique is to describe it in the present tense, as though you are living it now. The dream life. This is your big, hairy goal. Changing from a maybe desperate situation today, or just a humdrum existence, a boring life leading nowhere, and you're creating the power of why. When you've completed the second page, I want you to stand back and clearly focus on both pages. Compare how your life will be if you do not take action to the life that you desire. In front of you, you will have your personal power of why. This is a massive why that's going to sustain you and motivate you and give you momentum and give you hope on your journey as you become a successful entrepreneur. It's an exercise that you will come back and you'll look at time and time again. And I wish you well in completing this task. If you wish, you can post a short synopsis of this exercise and your feelings about it. How did you feel when you completed the power of why and your big hairy goal? Post it on our community page. Get some positive energy and endorsement for the exercise that you've completed. I'm excited for you at the end of this first lesson, and I can feel that you're bursting with the power and the energy to go forward and complete this first task. You will feel energized and motivated to go forward and to release the power in you. This is Bill Lewis. This is day 1 on your road to greatness, and you're doing a fantastic job. I'll see you tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you again.